Good morning, guys. Once again, here at the white sand spot with my ASW glider. So, in the last few days, I've been working on this glider because, of course, we want to extract also always the maximum performance out of our models, right? And I've been noticing some problems with the aileron extensions that I was using because they didn't follow exactly the shape of the aileron. They were a little bit chubby and they were causing excessive drag. So the model, once I get out of the motor, had some hard time with the aerodynamic penetration. So for the sake of better aerodynamics, I decided to remove the aileron extensions because this is a glider, so you don't want a glider to do aerobatics and stuff. For that I have other models, so this will be more a pure glider for slow flights and thermals and slope and all that, but without getting too much into aerobatics. So the model is much better this way. I already made a flight before this one, and in fact it behaves much better as expected. I also laminated the wings using just, let me see if I can show you see how they shine on the sun. They are covered in clear tape, sticky tape, basically a good quality one, a little thicker than usual. And I noticed an actual improvement on the wings rigidity. They don't flex too much and they give me better control because there is no flexure when the ailerons move, and everything is more rigid and the model gets more responsive this way. Also, of course, gets more durable over time because of the small hits and bumps that it takes now and then. So it's now covered. So the wings are covered, also the horizontal stabilizer, also a little bit of enhancement there. Because I added some weight with the film, with this tape, around 35 to 40 grams, I decided to make some more operations to recover that weight and possibly to remove some more. So I decided to fabricate a new cockpit. So that black cockpit you see there, it's all made of foam, a very thin foam, a good material I found on a store, and you can cut it to shape and work it and glue it very easily. It's easy to work and it's extremely light. Also, the pilot figure, not sure if you can see, but the guy has a new shirt. It's a type of Village People shirt, all full of stars and all that. Also made the pilot body out of styrofoam. I cut the head off basically from the pilot to remove weight from the body because it's all a thick plastic and weighs quite a bit. So I cut the head off by the neckline and I fabricated a little styrofoam body, and then I covered it with this textile and put two little safety harnesses, also of the same material as the black foam. So in total it weighs, the cockpit and the pilot, it weighs only 20 grams. I think it's quite mind-blowing. The original one weighs at about 80 grams. So on that operation, 60 grams. And by removing the aileron extensions, an additional almost 30 grams. So as you can see, quite a bit of savings there. Almost 100 grams in round count, which is quite a lot, and it's immediately noticeable. I had to work again on the CG, put the battery a little more up front to compensate for the lack of weight, and now the model is flying a whole lot better. Okay, let's go for the second flight of this morning. Tiny bit of wind, maybe 3 to 4 miles an hour, warm. It's about 27 degrees, something like that, Celsius. So let me see if I can get some thermals. I already did on the first flight. And speaking about thermals, I set up the flaps on first position. Let me see if I can show you here. So it's just this little bit, about 2 millimeters, 3 maximum of down, and the tiniest bit of up elevator. It's about 1 millimeter of up elevator. So it's the thermal mode. And I noticed it's really, really effective now. Okay, I'm going to take off here in thermal mode. And let's see. It goes just straight up. No need to pull or anything. Just motor. As it has a little bit of up elevator. Okay, out of the flaps now. It has a tiny bit of up elevator, and also with the flaps, it just climbs instantaneously. Instantly, I mean. And because of the improved aerodynamics, as it is originally, I can fly much slower without stalling. That was an immediate improvement I noticed. Because with the aileron extensions, I was having a kind of spoiler, because they didn't follow the wing design quite good. They were a bit chubby, so they were acting as spoilers, and once I get out of the motor, were causing really a lot of drag. And I was noticing that, you know, it wasn't really what it used to be. But now, as you see, slow, and it keeps on going. Seems really much better. About the thermal mode, which is what I'm fine-tuning, because on the previous flight I was with a little more down flap and a little more up elevator, and it was really too much. It was climbing too much and losing too much speed. But let me take it up now here a little bit and get out of the motor and put thermal mode. Okay, out of the motor now and into thermal mode. I'm not using any up elevator right now. Okay, no hands. It's just hanging in there, you know. Hello. It's really perfect. Slow. See, still out of the motor, just cruising along. I'm not hitting any thermal here, but I did on the first flight. I followed some storks that were flying around, and it's really effective. I found out about this thermal mode on a manual from a DLG glider, those gliders that you launch by hand, grabbing the wing, and they were talking about on the manual on this thermal mode, and I thought to myself, okay, so this is just a tiny bit of down flap and a tiny bit of up elevator. Let me try that on the ASW, and seems like it works. See? I used to try to go for thermals with no flaps and always working on the elevator, and I was constantly losing too much speed. But with this, you just, you know, flip the switch and the glider goes almost into autopilot. You just make the tiniest corrections. It's really effective. You should try. So it's about 2 millimeters down flaps and about maybe not even 1 millimeter at the back of up elevator. Maybe not even that, less than that. It's just a hair. Because this guy is really sensitive on the elevator, even having such a small control surface back there. It's really effective. You can just cruise around using this mode. Just hangs in there slowly. Just correct once in a while with up elevator. No, I also added an extra black stripe under each wing. I had two, now I have 3 thick stripes under each wing because my eyes aren't what they used to be. So it helps quite a lot. So out of the flaps now. Want to gain some speed. Going for a low pass. It really excels on the low passes, the ASW. It's so stable, and when you get into the ground effect, it goes on forever. I really like to go for low passes with this model. You can almost touch it. Here we go. Keeps going. It's so stable that you can go with full confidence against the wind, of course, so you go straight. It's a really joy to fly this model. I really love it each time more. And the noise. This noise gives me the chills. The sound it makes when it goes through, it's just phenomenal. Okay, let me get it into altitude now. See if we can get something. And of course, due to the reduced weight, it climbs a lot better. It's really amazing what 100 grams can do on a glider. It's that much more effective. Of course, if you need to add ballast for slope soaring when you have a lot of wind, say above 20 miles an hour or something like that, you need to maybe add ballast so you have penetration, right? But add is also easier, and it's always easier to add weight than to remove. So you get the best of both worlds. You can work with a heavier battery or maybe add a couple grams of ballast. No big deal. Okay, I'm here with the thermal setup, trying to get something. But the wind is blowing a bit stronger now, so not so good for thermals as it's sweeping the terrain. It's hot, but a little too much wind for that. But still you get nice flight times out of the motor. Okay, into the power now. Out of the flaps. Let's do a few more low passes. I have a lot of storks in there, but they're quite far. But there are on the thermal there. Can see, not sure if you can see them, they are very far. There are like half a dozen, maybe 7 storks in there. Let me try to join them. See if there's anything here going on. Okay, out of the motor. Thermal mode. It's really far. It's really far away. But yeah, let me join the party. It's really high. But definitely, there is hot air here. As always, the birds know what they're doing. Not the case with me. Still hanging in there, out of the motor, into thermal mode. Look at it. Look, no hands. It just goes and goes and goes by its own. So cool. Still out of the motor, just enjoying the glide. I'm telling you, this aileron, this flap setup really works. Highly recommended. Some rudder turns so I don't lose too much speed. Okay, into the motor now. I'm getting a bit low. Out of the flaps. Okay, 1 minute left. take it up to take advantage of the remaining time. Okay, out of the motor, just enjoying some soaring. It's almost no wind now. Look at that, still hanging in there. It's really not losing much altitude there. Maybe I think there's some lift here, for sure, yeah. Look at that. Just hangs in there. Too bad it's so far away, but just circling here. But yeah, it's not losing altitude. Great. I'm still landing. Still out of the power. See? No hands. If I let him, he will go on its own. Maybe to Lisbon. So I gotta be careful. But yeah, thermal land in here. Still out of the motor for a couple minutes. Just enjoying. With the first position flaps on the thermal mode. And I'm actually gaining altitude. Look at that. Just circling here on this area. Really, really amazing. I think it's the first time I get a really strong one here for this long. Still climbing. Okay. Starting to lose a little altitude now. But this sure was a lot of fun, this one. Still out of the motor. It's been like what? I'm not sure, maybe 4 minutes or something like that. Not bad. Still out of the motor. Still squeezing the juice. There's something here. See? Here. Let me try to get to the runway. Just gliding. Can I do it? Can I do it? No. Just a tiny bit of motor. Look at this. Look at this. Ah, awesome. Awesome. This is all about the weight. See how it just hanging there really slowly and gentle. It's amazing what 100 grams can do on a glider. Really happy now. Sacrifice a little bit of aileron authority with the flight performance. Yeah, I think it's all the way in. Yeah, for sure. Okay guys, this was a long flight, but I still have one battery left. So what time is this? 10:48. Yeah, I will do another flight and then hit home. It's getting pretty hot now, but yeah. Cheers guys, take care. I hope you enjoyed this flight with thermals and all that with the ASW 28. Take care, see you next time guys, bye bye.